enthusiasts. Welcome to ETOLL, your gateway to navigating the world of English with ease. My name is Naura, and I will be the host of today's episode. And of course, like usual, I'm not going to be alone today. I have an exceptional guest that will accompany our chit chats together. Hi, could
Hello.
you introduce yourself to our audience?
Okay, so my name is Ahmad Hadi, and people usually call me Diaz. I am a student at University of Diponegoro, and I am majoring in management, concentrating in marketing. Yeah,
Okay.
and I am an IISMA awardee. What's an IISMA awardee?
Okay, Kadias, I'm super excited to talk about our topic today because it's something that's been on my wish list since high school, and I'm sure our audience as well can't wait to hear about it. And today we're going to be discussing IISMA, which stands
Okay.
for Indonesian International Student Mobility Awards. That's why we invited you to be our guest
Thank
today.
you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're part of IISMA, right?
Yeah, I was part of IISMA. I am now part of IISMA alumni. But
Okay,
yeah.
So, do you mind telling us a bit about what IISMA is?
So IISMA is actually a government program which allow us, an undergraduate student, to have the opportunity to study abroad for 1 semester, and it is all paid, like from tuition. Well, actually, there are now three scheme of tuition, but yeah, it's a scholarship from the government program.
Oh wow, that
Yeah.
sounds incredible. What was the application process like? I'd love to hear more about your experience with it.
So my experience of applying IISMA is actually very fast and probably very distinctive with other alumni, and it's because I am late to have the information about the application program, and but it is very, I don't know, it's very hectic because again I am late for the information and I have to wrap it up like quickly for the English test, having to make 4 essays and filling up forms, and yeah, it's very hectic, but it's all good now, and there is no regrets.
Oh wow, you sound that you went through a quiet process, right?
Yeah.
And I've heard the personal statement or essay is a big part of the application. So, what's your take on that?
So the essays, there are going to be 4 essays. Well, it is actually updated every year, but for the 3 years in a row, I think it's the same. But you have to make sure from the website. But yeah, there are 4 essays. The first one is from the academic and non-academic achievements. The second one is, I think I actually forgot, but it is for, I think, your plan over there. And then, the second one is your struggle in life and how you deal with it. The third one is your plan over there, and then the fourth one is your mental state, like your physical and mental health.
Wow, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
It must have been so challenging to get your story across so effectively, right?
Yeah.
As we know, the process of becoming an IISMA awardee is challenging, right? And what made you so sure about applying IISMA? Did you ever doubt along the way, or were you unsure at all?
So I am I am always sure that I will apply, but it is doubtful for me because as I mentioned before, I have the information about the application form very late, and so I don't have the preparation time for the English test and make up an essay, so I got like non-expectant grade for my English proficiency test, and it is very minimum grade for like very minimum grade for the requirement in ISMA, but fortunately it is still enough for me to get in. So yeah.
Okay, I can imagine that being mentally prepared for those challenges must be tough for you, and but I'm sure overcoming them is part of what makes your experience so rewarding, right? And let's talk about the selection process. I want to hear more about it. How competitive was it?
So it is actually pretty competitive, and I mean, tens of thousands of people are wanted to join this program because it is very beneficial for undergraduate students like us. But I think you should not really worry about that as long as you really prepare and like mentally and physically prepare for your essays, and you're making your essays well, and then prepare for the English proficiency test. It is not something that you should worry because I don't know, for me personally it is not, I mean, I don't want to sound like it is easy, but it is not that hard. What I wanted to say is that if you're gonna get in, you're gonna get in. So yeah, just make the best out of it, like prepare well, and it is not something that you should worry about the competitive advantage because every big opportunity always comes with a great risk. So you have to risk it. Yeah.
Interesting. So, if someone out there is thinking about applying, and what would be your number one advice for them?
My number one advice probably prepare. Really prepare long before the application process started, and it is not too early. There are no sayings that says it is too early to do something. No, you have to prepare as early as possible. Be focused on making the essays, contact the alumni and everything. Get as much information as you can.
That's a great advice. So everyone, pay attention to Kak Dias. I've also heard that anyone who is interested in applying should not be afraid to reach out to alumni or current scholars for advice.
Yeah.
They've been through it all and can offer some, valuable insight, right? Don't you think?
Yeah, of course. We as alumni also very excited for anyone out there to have the same opportunity as us because it is very like there are no regrets involved whatsoever, and it is very beneficial. You have to really get out of your comfort zone to really experience something new. You can make great new connections and learn life lessons from others' perspective, especially from different countries and with different cultures. Yeah.
Right. We mentioned a bit about the hardship of studying in another environment you are not familiar with, right?
Yeah.
Can you talk about it more and how much it has shaped you?
It is actually, I don't know, I'm very grateful to have the opportunity to live abroad, study abroad, like learn something new with new cultures and new perspective in life. And it will naturally shape you as a person. And I don't know, it's because you will see other cultures and other people from another culture with different country, different language, do what you did usually do in your country, but it's different because they have different cultures. So it's going to shape you. I don't know if this makes sense, but it is very exceptional experience to have, and yeah, I'm very grateful for it. I don't know if that's answered the question, but yeah, you tell me.
But I got you, okay.
Okay.
Well, after talking about those hardships you've been through, I'd love to wrap things up with a fun question. What's the most unusual experience you had while studying abroad in Korea? And was it something about the people or maybe the food?
The unusual,
Yeah, the unusual.
the unusual is probably I have one experience that I cannot talk about, but it's probably the food because I am quite a picky eater and there's no similar food from Indonesia, like in Korea from Indonesian food. And probably for the Muslims and my personal experience, it is very hard to look for halal food. So it is probably the unusual part. But the fun part is that in my study in Hanyang University, um, I applied for business management majoring, and they have this organization called Glitters, and you really have the time to like they would invite you to I don't know take a walk, go to the museum, um, going ice skating, and it's very fun for international students to do that because not every international student can adapt easily, and it's because the language is also different from us and it's very hard for us to learn first and then to make friends. So they have this organization called Glitters that basically gather the international students to have a meeting and a hangout. So
Oh.
it's very fortunate for us to experience those hangouts.
Cool. They must be so strange at first, right? And it's awesome and cool how quickly we can adapt to new things, right? Speaking of adapting, I've heard a lot about the unique campus culture in Korea. Did you find it very different from what you were used to back home? How did you manage to fit in?
So for fitting in, it's not really hard because there are a lot of other awardees too, so you can adapt with them too. Like you're not alone, so it is pretty easy in my personal experience. But for adapting in the learning process and the studying, it's very much different from what I did in Indonesia. And in Indonesian campus, it is I don't know how to describe it, but it is not as clear and as it is often confusing for the students to catch up with the scheduling and the materials, but there it is so makes sense, everything makes sense, the scheduling, like you know the material that you have to learn and to study for the final, for the exams, and they really have the facilities for it too. Like there are a lot of study places like study room, the library, you can study like basically everywhere, and it is until midnight. For the final term it is until midnight, but here in Indonesia it's like I don't know, you have pauses, like you cannot go to the library from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. and it's like you have cuts to your study, and it is very I don't know, it's hard for the students to catch up and have the motivation and the same ambition if you limit the place and the time for studying for the students. Yeah.
I see, it's very different from Indonesia.
Yeah.
And then it's my personal question. All of other university in the world, why Korea?
So fun fact, it's actually my last option, Korea. It is because I don't think there's other option. Well, there is like probably Singapore or Malaysia, but I don't want to go there because I want to experience like the Four Seasons stuff, like the Four Seasons country. And also Malaysia and Singapore, it's actually very near from Indonesia, like not just geographically, but also culturally. And I wanted to experience something different. So the first one I chose was UK, it's Lancaster. And then the second one, it's in Turkey, like Middle Eastern Technological University, if I'm not wrong. But I didn't get to Lancaster is because I think because my English proficiency test, which I mentioned before that I have the minimum grade for it. So I didn't go there. And then the second one, for Metu, it's only 5 people that's going there in my batch. So yeah, it is very limited. But yeah, the last one is Hanyang, and that's where I'm at.
That's such a unique story actually because it's your last option and it's Korea.
Yeah, and I didn't know any Korean before. Like I didn't watch. Like I'm not trying to be pick me, but I don't watch K-drama. I don't listen to K-pop music. I know BTS and Blackpink, but that's it. And yeah, I don't really know what to expect in Korea. But after living for 4 months there, it's changing my perspective about Korea.
Got it. But you made it, right?
Yeah.
I think we've discussed a lot about ISMA today. And is there anything else you'd like to share with our listeners? Maybe not just about ISMA, but also about pushing boundaries and reaching new heights in academics in general.
Yeah, I think it is very important for an individual to push boundaries and get out of your comfort zone because it will have beneficial impacts to you and your learning process, and you will have the opportunity to, I don't know, like learn new things from different perspectives around the world, especially for ISMA. Like you can make connections and really learn and study from different perspectives globally.
All right, thank you so much for your
Thank you
words,
for having
Kadian.
me.
I really appreciate it, and I'm sure our listener also appreciate it too. And all right, everyone, I think that's our conversation for today. And I'd like to thank Kadias once again
Thank you so much
for
having
giving
me.
us some great insights. And right on, before we end today's episode, I'd like to end it with a quote from Chanaika. It says, "Education is the best friend, and education person is respected everywhere." So education beats the beauty and the youth. Thank you all for tuning in today's episode. I hope you find it inspiring as I did, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.